Clytus, I'm bored. What plaything can you offer me today?
An obscure body in the SK system. The inhabitants refer to it as the planet Earth.
How peaceful it looks. It must be annihilated. Send Rik and Danny on War Rocket Ajax. In 2013, Ming the Merciless, ruler of the known universe, declares the Earth to immediate termination. To accomplish this awesome decree, Rik and Danny are dispatched to the planet on War Rocket Ajax. The two encountered something they never thought they'd find, though. Movies. Stalled in their given task, Rik and Danny comb the movies of the Earth, sending reports of their greatness back to Mungo in what is now called the Hail Ming Power Hour.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let us be the first to welcome you for the first time, really, to War Rocket Ajax. You're seeing the insides as we speak. So congratulations on that. If you're just listening to the podcast, you're missing the great stuff. So make sure you go and check it out. But we are here to bring back some Hail Ming Power Hour into your life. And not only myself, Rick, one of your hosts, but I got my brother with me, Mr. Danny Bennett. What's up, man?
That's right. Rick and I are here to show you War Rocket Ajax in all of its splendor. You know, you can see it inside and you can hear, the bleeps, and now you can't hear any of that. But if you were to watch, you could see them because we have all that set on silent mode so that it doesn't cut into our recording session. And I tell you what, for one, I am excited to bring you back. And, just to give this a christening worth doing, we're going to talk about one of our favorite movies.
Robin Hood?
Missed the first. Yeah.
Oh.
Of course.
Hail Ming.
I'm talking about Zorro the Gay Blade, man.
Yes.
Hail Ming.
Yeah, we're not talking about that today. But we will be talking about it. It's a fantastic movie. And actually, we're here to talk about one that we missed the first time. How did we miss this the first time around?
You know what? We started looking at making another list. I'm like, how did we miss all these? How did we jump to Rawhead Rex and we missed some of these other ones?
That's true. I thought you were going to jump in on my choices, which some of them were sketchy. I'll give you that. But Rawhead Rex definitely made its way in somehow. And I'm not sure how happened.
Oh, so yeah, this is going to be great. Great to be back. We got a lot of new stuff for you, the different stuff for the show. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But I did want to say real quick, this is the first time coming back since we've lost Johnny Krug, my partner on Short Bus Cinema, pioneer podcaster. I mean, he's one of the people that we listened to early on when we were putting this show together, and we really admired his style of editing and just how quirky and quick-witted he was. And he got to come on the show and do some shows with us here, and we just became big buddies really fast. So, man, we're gonna miss him for sure. And yeah, it's a sad day in the podcasting world.
It is that, and as many of you know, it's a pretty tight-knit community. So I know most of you listening were familiar with him either from his show or from ours, or you had a guest spot for him available. Mm-hmm. If you are struggling like he was, we're all there for you. He had people that were willing to be there for him. And unfortunately, he struggled with it until it overcame him.
Yep.
Reach out for help.
Absolutely.
And we'll help you if you need help, because it's a tragedy and he'll be missed.
Yep. So yeah, just keep that in mind, as Hail Ming is here for you. So don't forget that. With that being said, we're going to go away. What were you saying?
I was just going to say we're here for the entire Earth. It's right behind us.
Yeah. So until we blow you up, we're here for you.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not personal.
We'll be right back, people.
The Hail Ming Power Hour is brought to you by
Anaconda Malt Liquor. Anaconda gives you...
Woo! Gives you what? Woo! And loyal subjects of Mongo like you. Hail Ming!
This is Michael Caine, award-winning film actor you may know from such cinematic achievements as A Muppet's Christmas Carol and Jaws for the Revenge, where I played a character named after a fucking sandwich. I approve of the following promotional message.
Do you like movies? Well, of course you do, you silly twit. You're listening to a movie podcast right now. Do you like podcasts about movies? I mean, if you're listening to this, your life is empty and without direction. So of course you do. Why not continue the spiral downwards with
They must be destroyed on sight.
yet another semi-regular podcast about film that will occupy some of that empty space in your soul. We cover every genre, but focus on a lot of obscure and cult films with a leaning towards exploitation. If you want a podcast that's going to talk about a silent film from the 1920s one week and a sleazy biker film from the 1960s the next, and then back to something like Singing in the Rain the next episode,
They must be destroyed on sight.
maybe for you. So tune in and join regular hosts Lee Russell, Daniel Harper, Paul Romali, and Lee Hardy, as well as the odd guest hosts at tmbdos.podbean.com. Thank you, Drive Through.
Okie dokie, people, here we are. We are back, and we're going to talk about the 1988 They Live. Super classic, super relevant for today.
It's got one of those premises that could be interjected anytime you have society kind of going a little cattywampus.
Yeah, without a doubt. Speaking of cattywampus.
I was.
Speaking of cattywampus, give us the synopsis. The president of the time that this came out, well, I don't know. He was winding it up, I believe. Reaganomics was coming to an end, right? So here's Ronald Reagan.
Hello, this is number 40, old Ronald Reagan himself. And I wanted to come on and talk about the economy. What? You're not talking about the economy? The movie? What movie? I've never seen that movie. Just make it up. Okay. They Live, a great film about bubble gum. I love to chew bubble gum, and in this movie, they all run out of bubble gum, and they got to go back in time, and it stars wrestler Roddy Piper, and he's got this magic kilt that allows him to travel back in time, and he'll play his little bagpipes, and his little wrestling buddies will come, like Andre the Giant and Junkyard Dog and Coco Beware, and they'll go back in time and try and find out what happened to all the bubble gum. And they end up at a baseball game, and they like baseball and they like bubble gum, so they invent Big League Chew.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a great film, a great movie from 1982, starring all of these great wrestlers as they go back in time to discover what happened to all the bubble gum.
He about got it.
You know, I knew that he was into jelly beans. I didn't realize he was also into bubble gum, but you learn something new every day.
I think I missed Junkyard Dog being in this, though.
I think I saw him.
Maybe.
I mean, it was definitely his aesthetic, but we'll talk about that. Like, oh, Ronnie.
Hey, it was more accurate than I would have come up with, so that's pretty good.
Ronnie James Reagan.
Ronnie James Reagan.
Hail Ming.
Movie magic. Movie magic.
happy accidents.
Oh, you know what we didn't say, though? We got a new motto around here, which goes like this.
You can count on my stool.
Yeah, we've moved away from actual movie quotes, and we've kind of re-engineered movie quotes into other quotes that we actually made up while we were talking about movie quotes and maybe filming in a trailer.
You can say that one more time.
You can count on my stool.
Stool. The echo at the end.
I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but it's funny. Oh.
All right, man, let's get going. Danny, what's your number one reason for watching They Live?
Well, They Live is a bonkers masterpiece that's based on a sci-fi premise, and John Carpenter does what John Carpenter does. He makes a movie, gets in, he gets back out, and the whole time it looks like you should be following Guy, Hagar, and Cody through the streets of Final Fight, man. So my first reason is the aesthetic. You got railroad tracks and alleyways and Roddy Piper wearing some blue jeans that stay clean no matter what.
I don't know, man. I noticed, because I viewed it again, but I think his jeans are just dirty the whole time, and they never change. They're just dirty. To an 80s standards, they're dirty. How about that?
Oh, yeah. And you're right.
How about that mullet?
It is a fantastic mullet. It goes from it's almost party in the front and the back.
Yeah, he's got it going on for sure, man.
It's feathered.
But yeah, I think like you're saying, the aesthetic of the thing, the streets, the nastiness, showing you that side of because you got the opposite with showing all the glamour and stuff on the TV, but reality, it's nasty, dirty. Yeah. And I just wonder if he could just go shoot this stuff and not have to have a permit.
Yeah. I think there was definitely some let's make use of these places kind of things going on there. From the homeless settlement to the underground bunker of the aliens, they were definitely using as much as they could of, free or limited resources.
Absolutely. My first reason is going to be the first revelation that Roddy Piper has when he puts on the glasses that just kind of takes you into this tailspin of craziness. It seems like it takes a long time for it to build up to it, but when it does, it's iconic.
I agree. I mean, that's when you talk about They Live, that's what you talk about. You talk about Roddy Piper at that newsstand. He puts on those glasses and suddenly he sees this, reality behind the mask, behind the hologram or whatever it is that these aliens are using to control us. And it's a world of, it's in black and white, again, probably for budgetary reasons. And everything around him is just, reproduce, this is your God, all those things that control us, whether we know it or not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just, and we talked about this before, but I resisted watching this movie because we just got off of Big Trouble in Little China with that and Prince of Darkness as well. But I think I didn't want to see this because of Roddy Piper, but when I look at it now, because I hated it, right? Bad guy in wrestling. It's just, I hated that guy. And of course you were supposed to. And I'm thinking, I rode that roller coaster of coming out of WWE. I kind of lost interest in it because it was getting too big, right? You had cartoons on Saturday morning. This is your age group. This is right where you were.
It was.
So it was the big deal. And for me, I'd already kind of got past that. So for a wrestler to be in the movie, I was like, meh. But hello, wrestling is acting.
It's true. But I mean, to your point, your wrestling was getting a little too big for its britches, maybe. Like you said, there's an age gap between us, and the cartoonish element of the whole character-driven drama that WrestleMania had maybe appealed to me a little more because, I was a kid and I wouldn't say I believed it, but I probably believed it more than I would have been able to 5 years after, where it's kind of like, this is just ludicrous. And, like I said, when you put it into terms of cartoons on Saturday morning, it really becomes a little too big. And I can see why it would be turning you off. And it was turning Roddy Piper off. That's why he was trying to find a way out. And he managed his way into this movie career.
Well, and again, I was 18 years old when this came out. So, 16, 17 years old, I was just losing interest. I was more into rock and roll, So, but yeah, man. But in hindsight, when you look at it now, he's perfect for the role. He is absolutely perfect in this role because he shows this sense of patience that that Keith David does not have,
no.
And that's why they work so well together. I'm jumping ahead, but I don't know. When it comes down to it, he's the perfect guy for this role.
I think we can assume anybody who's watching this is a fan of They Live already. We're not giving anything away, and the only things that are really reveals are pretty much the central plot points of the movie, and there's nothing hidden about them. It's just, when do you get to see them with your own eyes or through his eyes, Right. But I'll go back to formula, and the next reason I've got to watch it is the wall-eyed preacher, the blind preacher who's given the sermon on the steps of the municipal building. There are people around. It's kind of like, you ever seen that anti-Nazi film where the guy's out there, preaching to the group, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't like those people who don't look like us," and he's like. And it's all about racism. But this guy's in that same spot talking to a group of people about how they're controlling us. And it's
right.
He's the first introduction. And of course, everybody thinks he's crazy. And also the cops come haul him away at the end. Mm-hmm. He's part of the control.
He's part of it. Right. Yeah. And just his role throughout, right? Because you're a little scared of him at first. You're a little wacky. Then he approaches Roddy Piper and feels his face.
Yeah.
All that stuff is weird. But then when you see him in the alleyway getting beat by the cops, you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's not necessarily a likable guy, but that's because he knows the truth, and that makes him a little unhinged.
Right. Speaking of unhinged, my next one is the guy with the goatee at the end of the show that shows him everything. He was one of the guys. He's one of the guys at the homeless, place there for so long, watching TV so much. And now he's like, hey, you want to see how things work? Just come on down here. Well, that's about as far as I can go show you,
He's wearing a tuxedo and sipping champagne. And, he's an example of what they're talking about with this society where, while he's in the homeless camp, he's like, I wish they'd stop showing these because they've hacked into the broadcast and they're trying to tell people the truth. And it makes everybody's head hurt. And he's like, I wish they'd quit doing this. I could just want to watch my TV shows. Right. He's just wanting to forget about how terrible life is and watch the TV so that he can forget about it. And they're trying to tell him the truth, and he just doesn't want to hear it. When he does learn the truth, he uses it to his advantage to forget about it in another way.
Yeah.
To take the buyout, to sell out his own people, right?
Right. All right, Danny, what's your next one?
My next reason is They Live, We Sleep. Right. So Roddy Piper blows into town, gets a job shoveling some sand, meets Keith David, and then he ends up living in this homeless encampment next to a church. The church is where the resistance is broadcasting out about the aliens. He figures that out, and in the basement on the wall, they've got written in huge block letters. It says, "They live, we sleep," which of course it probably comes from the short story that the whole thing's based on, but it's the premise of the movie. And again, these are the stark things that make us remember this movie fondly, because it's just such the premise is hammered home so well. All the images in it are just super iconic.
Yeah. And I love the fact of when they get raided at the church and he goes, Roddy Piper's the one that sees that written on the wall. And when they go back later, it's been painted over. So it was that important to get rid of that saying on the wall. Right. Even though they came in and destroyed everything they were doing in there, it was still important to get rid of that.
Where they were broadcasting the message on TV, and they were making the sunglasses that showed the truth.
Yeah.
They were doing all that stuff. But yeah, they also had to make sure that all the propaganda was up off the wall. And yeah, it's just a cool premise. It's one of those things that, and Lois said while we were watching it, maybe it could be remade. And I normally shy away from those things, but it probably wouldn't be bad if they did. I mean, as long as they didn't go too far off the rails.
Yeah. And it's that thing too of you could take away too much of what makes it so powerful though. Right. And I think it's something that happens a lot is we get wrapped up into new effects, things like that we forget the real message behind of what we're trying to come across with and why it's a classic to begin with. So yeah, man, that goes along with my next one, which is the lady on TV that's obsessed with being famous. Right.
Right.
Oh, and I would live forever and I'd be on TV and, and
I've just got to be on TV.
Right. And look at us. That's where we are now. I mean, hello, it's what we're doing right now.
We're in a spaceship. It's totally different.
It's totally different. Totally
spaceship.
Different. We're not like those other a-holes.
That's right.
You can count on my stool.
I don't know what it means, but it's so funny. Yeah, I mean, well, of course we're not like those other guys because, we're not in a closet or a bedroom. We're in a spaceship. That's what I'm going to keep going back to. Spaceship. I'm in a wheelchair.
Ming.
I'm not in a wheelchair.
All right, man. Yeah, it's a short one. It's just a lady on TV that it's really capturing where we are now in our society. I mean, that's where everybody wants. They want their 15 minutes of fame, but they want them right now.
Well, and I read an article not too long ago about a psychological condition where people had kind of the Truman Show delusion, where they felt like they were on a TV show, or they felt like they needed to be on a TV show, or they felt like they were being filmed. Yeah. And I think like you said, it's a lot of what we're going through now as a society. It's so easy to get your image put out there 100 times or 100,000 times that everybody kind of has this fame fixation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to say this one. Frank, played by Keith David, he throws Roddy Piper's first week's wages right in the box, man.
Yeah,
so
he does.
Roddy Piper's got this box from the trash. It's full of the sunglasses. He's like, here, man, put these on. He's like, and for some reason, Keith David is not going to put on some sunglasses. Maybe he already can't see very well or something. But he says, here's your first pay. And he chucks this little money clip of cash, probably 12 feet straight into the box that Roddy Piper's holding.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
That's talent. And it's right. It's all in the same shot. It's not like they cut. It's like he just flicks it. And I bet it was a happy accident. It was probably supposed to land on the ground and they just kept it because it was too awesome not to.
Yeah, man. He just flings it like a ninja star. And he just goes right in there, man. I mean, it's just like, it wasn't like he was holding the box for him to like put it in either. I mean, the box was just hanging down. It's like, stook.
It's just hanging down there. And, maybe Keith David is a ninja.
Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it one bit. Well, I mean, since we're already here, this is further down the list, but really it's the number one reason.
Yeah.
It's the fight, man.
It's the fight.
That's what everybody knows about this movie. There's about 2 or 3 things that you walk away from this movie that's the iconic things, and the fight, man. They are throwing down just to put on some sunglasses, man.
yeah. It becomes F you. I'm not putting on those sunglasses. Put on the sunglasses or go down, man. It's back and forth. And we had the unique ability to go to a convention where they're having a They Live reunion. And we got to hear Roddy Piper and Keith David talk about this fight. Yeah. And, Keith was in and out of the room. And when he left one of the times, Roddy Piper looked at everybody and said, man, that guy, he says he's not going to really hit you, but he really hit me every time. Apparently they determined that they could hit each other in the body, but not in the face. And according to Roddy Piper, Keith David was just laying into him every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was one of the best interviews I think we've ever seen as far as a panel like that. It was awesome.
It was pretty good.
Those two, and then Meg Foster sitting over there doing her thing.
Doing her thing.
So yeah, man, the fight is iconic. It goes on forever. And it just watching it again. I mean, just,
oh man,
how you planned all that out. Even the part where he gets him in the headlock and Roddy Piper picks him up and then he kicks off the wall and knocks them both back on the ground.
and then there's a point where Keith David gets angry. It's because Roddy Piper picks up that board and slings it and he breaks the rear window, I suppose, of Frank's car. I didn't see him drive up in it, but it obviously was, because he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. He's still laughing about it. And Keith David smashes a bottle, like, I guess, to cut him with it. And it just completely shatters in his hand. He's got nothing there.
And then Roddy Piper kind of laughs at him, right? He's like, and then all of a sudden he just tackles him and starts beating the crap. You could tell
that some of it was choreographed and some of it they were just riffing. And the whole fight is it's like 3 minutes long. It takes forever.
Yeah, yeah. But you know that. If you've watched this movie, you know that. If you haven't watched it, I'm telling you, you're going to walk away going, wow. I mean, it's incredible. So yeah, what you got?
Well, so my next, we're kind of jumping around. That's
sure.
Good. That's good. I'm going to say the bubblegum line. So while we're going with the iconic things, there's a line, Roddy Piper, he's revealed the truth. He's not subtle about it. He just walks around yelling at people, pointing in their face. Well, what's up with your face, man? Not subtle. Goes into a bank, has a shotgun. I'm not sure how this all breaks down, come to think of it. I need to rewatch it again. It's been a minute.
It's the two cops out in the alleyway. He fights the two cops. He dusts them. He
shoots a cop.
Yeah.
Right there.
And then he gets the shotgun out of the cop car, and then he just decides to go in a bank.
Yeah. And he's looking from person to person. You're regular. You're one of them, and they're like, oh, we got one that can see, real conspiratorial creepiness. And he walks into the room and he says, I'm here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
Right.
And it's a line, man.
Yeah.
It's a line.
Yeah.
I don't know why he says it. He just had it. He had it as a bunch of things that he was going to use in the ring and never got a chance to. So just jump in with it when you're a movie star.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and you can tell when he walks in, he looks around the people and he can see they're shocked at him. And he kind of does this kind of thing, like, I've got them, so I might as well do something quirky here,
Yeah. And I guess that's it. It's just Nada, who does not have a name and is listed as Nada. Yeah. Is kind of he's the worst person to get this information because he's got no future anyway.
Yeah.
So he might as well go down guns blazing.
And it's weird too, because again, that contrast of him having the patience till you get to kind of this point, but all before that, dealing with being homeless and jumping from job to job and not having anything. And he's surrounded with people that are all irritated because this is the life they've been handed. And he's like, it'll all work out. You just got to give it time, and for him to turn the switch and become this guy, I mean, he becomes like you said, the wrong person to give this information, because when you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose.
That's absolutely it. So, all right, what's your reason?
My reason? You kind of brought it up. I kind of like the wristwatch tech. We've got one that can see.
Again, you got the budget, the budget thing going. It's like, it looks like a regular watch. That's why it doesn't have anything real special about it. But sometimes they can disappear.
Yeah, you can make them disappear. You can make a hole show up in the middle of the floor, and you can drop down through concrete ceilings. And yeah, man.
And it looks just like a regular watch.
Yeah, takes a lick and keeps on ticking.
I wonder if it told time. It probably told time in several planets.
Very possible. But yeah, even the bearded dude there at the end's got one. See you later, fellas. Pink.
Yeah, true. They gave them to him, so they must not have been all that rare.
Yeah, they must just have them to hand out to everybody. So, all right, what you got next?
Well, next I've got Rachel Foster hitting Roddy Piper with a wine bottle and kicking his ass out of a 3-story window onto the hills of Los Angeles.
Rachel Foster?
Meg Foster, not Rachel Foster. She could have done it, but It wasn't on camera when that happened. So yeah, Meg Foster. He does the very commando thing, jumps in the car with her, just go, She takes him to her house because that's what you do when unhinged, gun-toting madmen jump in your car.
Right.
And, inside he's like, look, I'm just going to close my eyes for a minute. That's the wrong thing to do because she's got that wine bottle and just smash and then throw him out the window. And, you can assume at that point she's just done, what's going to happen now? He's probably dead.
Yeah, he goes rolling down that hill. That's one of those scenes too. Again, watching it today, I mean, I'm all smiles because I know it's coming up,
Yeah.
Because it's so perfectly timed when they do it. And, one of my reasons is how about Meg Foster acting like a normal human being in this movie? Because when we met her, man, there's 2 weirdos that we've seen at these conventions, and the other one was Gary Busey.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of company you're keeping with when you say Meg Foster and Gary Busey were the weirdest people we've seen. And she was a space cadet, dude.
Yeah, she's pretty out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a recent thing or not. I haven't seen too many interviews with her when she was younger, but she definitely was a little out there.
Yeah. So, but you folks will find out later on because we're actually going to have an interview right here on War Rocket Ajax with Meg Foster. She's coming up in a little bit, folks.
Yeah, I'm excited to have her, and hopefully we can get some answers out of her as to what's going on.
And hopefully she don't watch this podcast so she don't hear us talking all this stuff about her either.
Hey, she's probably too busy. She's
Maybe.
Still working.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she's pretty collected in this movie, man. I mean, even she just got, manhandled by this guy, taken up to her room, bashed him over the head, knocks him out the window, and she calls the cops and it's like, no, I'm all right. I'm okay. Yeah, everything's good. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's a weird little interlude. Maybe it just didn't play to the whole plot to have her go to the cops, but it's weird.
Of course, you kind of find out at the end that she's kind of in the middle of all of it anyways. So
yeah, that's an unusual reveal that she ends up betraying the resistance after kind of joining the resistance. And that's, again, it's weird.
Pretty wild. What you got?
Well, I think that was me, wasn't it?
Was that you? Well, it was kind of both of us because.
Okay.
I can do one.
Jump in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, go.
Me?
You.
How about what's the matter, baby?
Skipping all the way to the end.
Yeah, all the way to the end, man, where Roddy Piper's destroyed the satellite, killed the signal that's hiding all the aliens on the planet. And this guy and girl are going to town, and she's riding cowboy. And she looks down, and he's an alien. And she kind of reacts. And he goes, what's the matter, baby?
That could have been Roddy Piper, too. Sounded like him. It's very Californian.
It's very David Lee Roth, Roddy Lee Roth.
Roddy Lee Roth. Right there with Ronald James Reagan.
Bozy bop.
Like a rainbow in the dark.
Like a rainbow in the dark.
All right. So next one I have is after they meet with the resistance. We talked about it looking like Final Fight. Well, here's another video game for you. Operation Wolf. I know if you ever went to an arcade in the 80s, there was the Operation Wolf game. It had the machine gun. You were shooting down. There were the commandos coming at you with knives and other guns. And there's an ambush that occurs when the resistance are there. Frank comes in, Nada goes in. They get some weapons from the table. They get one of those fancy watches. And then they the resistance gets raided and they end up in an alley, and it's just like Operation Wolf, man. The two of them are at one end, and then like just alien commandos like on fire escapes and behind trash cans, and it's just like this big long machine gun scene before one of them decides, hey, I got this watch. Let's see where it takes us.
Yep. And talking earlier, I sent you this message because I was watching it again, but we forgot to even bring this up. It's not in either one of our notes, but we've got our favorite actor of all time in this movie for like 3 seconds. Al Long is in this movie.
That's right, Uncle Al.
Uncle Al, you know, the guy that was Genghis Khan and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
The guy that was eating candy bars from the vending stand in Die Hard.
Yeah, brushing his head with the toilet brush. I mean, he's in Big Trouble in Little China. He's in everything we love. So
everything.
He's got the Hail Ming Lifetime Achievement Award. That's how much we think of this guy. But yeah, he's in there for just a few seconds, man.
He's like the main bad guy in the Hard Hunted series. You know, those movies that they made for Cinemax to be played no earlier than 11 o'clock at night. I think they got two things with their budget. It wasn't a screenplay and it wasn't good actors. They got Al Long and a helicopter.
Maybe what else you need? What else you need, man?
You need some stuff, but you know, not to make Hard Hunted movies. That's not why people watched.
Right, exactly. I'm sure there's other reasons if it was on that late at night.
True.
All right, you got anything else?
You know, I'm just going to say that I'm distracted by the concept that Frank has a family.
Yeah.
I got a wife and kids. You do? You have a wife and kids? You live in a homeless shelter and you made friends with this drifter and you have where are your wife and kids? I think he might mention that they're not there when he goes and stays with Nada in that hotel room for a little bit after they've determined, you know, that he's made him wear the glasses and Frank's now on board. But yeah, the wife and kids are only mentioned in the dialogue. They don't really play a part in the plot. Yeah.
And he brings it up as an excuse several times. You know,
got a wife and kids, man.
I got a wife and kids, man. Hey, that's none of our business. I got a wife and kids.
Someday I want to get back to that wife and kids.
Yeah.
Not today or next week, but someday.
Yeah.
So I can't get involved.
They got a can of Cheese Whiz. They got it made.
And in typical Keith David form too, he's like, I don't want to get involved. he's great voice, man. Yeah. Keith David.
I can't be talking to you. You out of your mind. Oh, all right. Let's see. I just got this wrote on here, but the alien flight deck to me is, I mean, it's cheeseball. It's funny, but I love it, man, because it's like, could be Star Trek, could be Evil Dead 2 when his dead skeletal wife is out there dancing. She goes, ah.
Yeah. The plot explanation bum shows up and walks him around in the catacombs that are just like a parking garage. Oh, it's all right, guys. You can let us through. You know me. Plot explanation bum. And they walk through several checkpoints, and then there's this landing pad where people just, here's where they go to other planets that they've taken over just like ours.
Man, I mean, they get their suitcase or a briefcase or whichever, and they just stand on that platform and go, bing, and they're gone.
Off to work, honey. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, well, and it's great because it's not a bad effect.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like, here we are underground on the landing platform to go out in space. I mean, with our briefcases.
The platform they're at, you can see other planets. I mean, it's like, we're just on a balcony in this building. How is that possible? But okay.
And they're all dressed like they belong on the cover of the handbook for the recently deceased in Beetlejuice, man. Like with the suit, and if I remember correctly, which I might not, I'm kind of picturing like a Clark Kent kind of kind of
Very
image. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your typical, run of the mill business guy.
Yeah. They're often
aliens.
in business.
All right. Anything else?
I just wanted to say that, as far as a budget goes, I wanted to point out that their communicators in the lower decks were PKE meters from Ghostbusters painted black. They were actually that. It's one of the facts about the show, and I thought it was fun that they did that. Of course, I immediately knew they were, but
yeah,
I guess if you were an audience at that point, it hadn't been quite used as much. So
right, which you just gave us a great leadway into what we'll do next too. That was awesome.
Yeah, see, I'm on board with some segues.
Oh, are you now?
Creative segues.
So normally here we would do a rating, which we just decided that Ming said that those are kind of bogus because we wouldn't even talk about these movies if we didn't like them. So a rating is pointless. So what we are going to do, absolutely pointless. What we are going to do is a new thing called Fact. Get Fact with Rik and Danny. And to bring that in, we've got some friends, some fellow podcasters introducing this new skit for you right now.
Hey, everyone. It's Brian.
And Jamie from Horror in the House of Salmons.
And it's time to get fact with Rik and Danny.
Later. I like to play with things a while before annihilation. That sound like me?
Yeah, it was like he's right behind me.
Brian and Jamie, man. I love those folks, man. Got to work with them for a little bit. We were doing Dude Looks Like the 80s there for a little bit. Man, they are podcasting machines. Great friends. Lots of fun. And definitely go check out their new show, Horror in the House of Salmon. Fun stuff. Anything that they're involved with is always top notch. So good bunch of people.
That skit that they just did was 30 seconds long, and it was a lot of fun. So you can imagine what they could do with real time.
Oh yeah. Great show. Great people. So the objective of this, folks, is something new we want to try. This is where we're going to give you some facts of the movie, and you have to determine which one is the real one.
That's right. And as you know, here at Hail Ming, we like to have some fun. And sometimes that means we're not actually telling the truth. So this is your chance to try and ferret out which is the truth and which is the lie in the facts about this movie.
Yep. So you're about to get fact, and you got to pick out, you have to give us a message or a Facebook page or whatever and let us know which one you think is the true one. And if you win, you get prizes. We're actually going out on the limb. Ming has already gave us a credit card where we can come down and buy movies, or at least steal them from people. So if you win, chances are you're going to get this DVD set, Blu-ray set, right? Let's get it where it'll stay in focus here. It's the Stanley Kubrick set, which keeps disappearing.
That's part of its appeal.
That's part of it because it's transparent.
It's got a cloaking device.
It's 2001 Clockwork Orange and The Shining Blu-ray set. But when you open it up, the only disc in it is a copy of Werewolf versus the Vampire Women.
See, that's where it's at.
Right. So if you're interested in just having a case for some cool movies, but a not so great movie inside of it, or if you just want a really bad movie in a cool case, here it is. All you got to do is pick the right one. Pick the one that's the truth. So, Danny, go ahead and give us one of your facts.
All right, I've got 2 facts and one falsehood. So my first fact is
you're not supposed to tell them. You're not supposed to tell them because we've all got facts. They're supposed to figure out which one's the true one.
Yeah, but I was just telling him how many are. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to call them all facts. Whether they're true or not is up to you to decide.
Right.
I'm not going to say, here's your falsehood. No, I'm not going to do that. So
we're only supposed to have 2 apiece, but now we got 5. So
here's the first.
Breaking the rules.
Here's the first fact. Fact. Hoffman lenses are mentioned by Gilbert and the Resistance. It's a reference to Albert Hoffman, the scientist who discovered LSD.
Yeah.
Hoffman lenses let you see the truth, or at least get, trippy.
All right. You want me to go with mine next?
Yeah.
All right. So the first one I've got is Meg Foster's father, Harlan Foster, was one of the co-creators of Foster Grant Eyewear, which made the glasses that were actually used in this movie.
But not Rachel Foster.
Not Rachel Foster. Meg Foster's father.
It's different.
Harlan.
Okay.
Harlan
Just
Foster.
making sure.
Yep.
All right. Originally, John Candy was portioned to play the character Nada, and the original line was, "I'm here to chew bubblegum."
That's it.
I'm here to chew bubblegum.
I'm here to chew the bubblegum, and that's all.
Right. It's like, what's wrong with your face, lady? You okay? He's such a nice, he was just too nice for the role, really.
Right. So I've got, when they were going through this and they already had the cast and everybody going, Roddy Piper went through 48 different styles of sunglasses. They made him try all these different styles to find the right ones that would work for the movie. So they went through 48 different styles of sunglasses before picking the one that he chose to wear in the movie. So 48 different styles of glasses. So we could have had some like Elton John glasses or something. That'd been awesome.
Yeah. Like he could wear a feather boa and have like some sequin sunglasses.
Big gap.
It'd be a different kind of movie.
Some Bootsy Collins glasses. That'd been awesome.
And I'm kind of wanting to see this version now.
Heck
All
yeah.
right. My last fact is Frank Armitage is listed as the screenwriter. This is an H.P. Lovecraft character, and it was a pseudonym for John Carpenter, who used that pseudonym because it was an H.P. Lovecraft character as an homage to one of his favorite sci-fi writers, Frank Armitage.
There you go. So there you go, folks. There's your facts, and you can send us a message or private message us, or we'll try to ignore them in all ways possible, but get them out there to us. Let us know which one, and you could be the winner of this transparent movie. Hey, I just hold it up against me. It does it like that.
There you go.
If I said you had a beautiful Blu-ray, would you hold it against me? But yeah, man. Werewolf versus the Vampire Women, right there, folks. There it is.
You just
for you.
You can't not put it. You just talked about how you got to keep it close, and here you are, just presenting the sandwich. You're trying to hand them a sandwich, aren't you?
Right, absolutely, man. Speaking of sandwich, folks, here we are. What you've been waiting for? Our interview with Meg Foster. Make welcome Meg Foster, everybody. Yeah! All right. Thanks for taking time to be with us today, Meg. Okay. So you've had a pretty great career. Tell us about some of your favorite highlights of things you've done.
Me.
So Meg, what was it like working with the great John Carpenter?
Go movie magic. Boop.
I'm sure he feels the same.
Well, Meg, we're about out of time. But before you go, I wanted to ask you about your experience being in Masters of the Universe. How was that experience?
Shoes.
Thanks for being with us today. Thanks. It's been a treat.
We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Mark of the Hail Ming Power Hour. Today's movie is They Live, and although it's a silly little sci-fi movie, it actually does touch on some deep subjects such as capitalism, consumerism, and the weaponization of advertising. As this gives me the opportunity to do so, I'd like to have a serious conversation about some of these issues, starting with the concept of subliminal advertising. When one says subliminal advertising, they tend to think of things...
Listen to Hail Ming Power Hour. Listen to Hail Ming Power Hour. Listen to Hail Ming Power Hour. Listen to Hail Ming Power Hour.
But even with no space signal being blasted into your brain, this still leads into a capitalist mindset. And that clearly...
Buy Hail Ming merchandise. Buy Hail Ming merchandise. Buy Hail Ming merchandise. Buy Hail Ming merchandise.
Which has real geopolitical ramifications. Now, this is just my opinion, and you're free to disagree with me, but I believe...
Mark is a sexy beast. Mark is a sexy beast. Mark is a sexy beast. Mark is a sexy beast.
And with that in mind, you would want to...
Hey, Mark, we need you to stop broadcasting. There's a problem with the signal.
Really? I didn't see any issues on my end. It seems to be broadcasting okay.
No, I mean there's a problem with the other signal.
Oh, okay. So, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm...
Sexy Beast.
With Hail Ming Power Hour, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Psst. Hey. You looking for a place where the inner secrets of cinema are revealed? Where movie spoilers fill the air? Well, if you follow that stairs behind that movie screen, you'll find the Spoiler Room Podcast. In the Spoiler Room, film fans, critics, and even filmmakers talk about the thing that they love most, movies. You'll hear discussions on films old and new, cult classics, indies, and more. And you'll want to check out their specials menu too. Every year there's a special series of discussions that will definitely be to your liking. You'll even find interviews with actors, actresses, and directors occasionally. So tune on in to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or even Google Podcasts. You can even find more at specialmarkproductions.com or on our Patreon channel at patreon.com/specialmarkproductions. Head on down the stairs, pull up a chair, and stay a while in the Spoiler Room Podcast, where the conversation is fresh, but they do spoil the movies.
They're chic. They're style. And you won't believe your eyes. Meg Foster Grant Eyewear. Who needs blue blockers when you've got Meg Foster Grants? So don't be a lame-o. Step in style with Meg Foster Grant Eyewear. You won't believe your eyes.
All right, everybody, there you go. The return episode straight from the heart of the matter right here at War Rocket Ajax. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and you need to check out They Live if you've never watched it before. And if you have watched it before, you need to watch it again.
That's right. We did. And we enjoyed every single minute of it.
Absolutely. So thanks for everybody checking us out. Thanks for being patient with us, just like Roddy Piper, for us to come back and get stuff going. We had a lot of issues. We don't like to talk about all that kind of stuff, but computers dying and losing everything, losing everything we had. We ain't going to talk about all that. But we hope you had a good time. And we hope that next episode... Oh, crap. It's Clytus.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You two are at risk of being destroyed by Emperor Ming himself if you do not complete your mission.
Hey, Clytus, you don't have to use the voice, man. I mean, everything's cool.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the cameras are completely off.
Oh, cool. So, hey, guys, what's happening? I just caught that last transmission, and you have to send me a copy of They Live. I need to check that out.
Yeah, we'll do it as soon as we can. So I see you got some of those sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. The Meg Foster Grants, and I have to say, aliens are among us, too. I saw one the other day buying a hot dog.
That's disturbing.
The reason I called, though, and even though I love the swag you're sending me, I don't know how long I can keep Ming at bay. He really wants to blow that planet up. So if you guys could, just set part of it on fire or something, just so I can show that you're doing something.
Sure, man. I think we can do that. I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure we can set something on fire. Maybe Addis Ababa.
Hey, guys, that would be perfect.
Cletus, stop talking to those knuckleheads and come back to bed.
Oh, guys, I need to go. We'll catch up later.
Okay. So if you notice an unusual explosion or fire in Addis Ababa, we had to do it.
Yeah, we'll try and make it
small. Yeah, it's very small. It's very small rocks.
Just something, to prove that we're, still here.
Yeah, we got to keep our job, folks. But you got to remember,
you can count on my stool.
Makes it all better every time.
Oh, you got anything, Danny?
No, other than hope you enjoy the show. Come back. We'll keep bringing new things to you. It's hard work, but at least it's unmonetized.
Yep. So check out everything at Legion Podcast. Go to Legion's webpage. Go to Legion's YouTube page and check out all the stuff there, which is where you're going to kind of find this at. So if you're looking for this, chances are we'll have a link in the description whenever you see it posted. But at the same time, you can just go to Legion Podcast on YouTube and you'll find us there. And check out all the other shows, man. All of our brothers and sisters at Legion Podcast.
And give them some love. And while you're at it, check out whatever we have going. We have several episodes before this one, and all this is a change. You can look back and see if your loves and likes align with ours, if you're not familiar with the show already.
Absolutely. So till next time, folks, we will check you later.
Oh